साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम. Let there be peace, let there be peace and love amongst all the human beings of the universe. Let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have done the contemplation for first 20 chapter in the essence of a Yogaavasishtha and started the revision long back. We have finished the 3 chapter. Fourth chapter also we finished. Today we are doing the revision of fourth chapter before we start with the fifth chapter. As we all aware, the essence of Yogaavasishtha are the stories inside the stories being told by Vasishtha Rishi to the Rama, so that the message of mind your mind, tranquil the mind, contain the mind, the company of holy people and inquiry will be communicated to the world through this contemplative mode of essence of Yogaavasishtha. The Rama, Bhagwan Rama, who was a 15 years old, is our representative there, and Vasishtha is a Manas Putra of this Brahmaji. So the knowledge is coming directly from the source, that is Brahmaji, and that's why it is blissful, cheerful, happy, contented, and over and above, relaxed and cool. It makes us happy under all the situations. So let us start the contemplation as a revision of complete chapter on the story of Leela. The stories, that is Upakhana, gives such a message that mind has to become tranquil. So first topic we'll see the Devi Vara Prapti, the attainment of the boon from the goddess. So the first shloka which Vasishtha Rishi says that you hear in this respect a temple legend which gives the peace of mind. So for what purpose this contemplation is done is for attaining the peace of mind. So remain very simple and disciplined person and try to attain this peace of mind by knowing the contemplation, doing the contemplation. So now the story starts. The story is like this. There was a king called as Padma and he has a wife named Leela. And this wife Leela has this her husband Padma king, who is a pious king and he was a very dear. So she started thinking that if this king dies before her, then naturally she will be totally disturbed. And she was not in that mood to have that situation happen. If she dies, then there is no problem because she knows that she is also a pious lady and she will happily rest in the self. But if it goes otherwise, so what has to be done? So she started doing this religious rites. She has met many people, and after meeting the people, they said it is impossible that we cannot change the law of land, and anybody person who is born he has to die. But she was not ready to listen, so she started doing the lot of tapasya, and by her tapasya, she has pleased the goddess Saraswati, and goddess Saraswati gave her darshana and she says, what boon you want, you please tell me. And accordingly, Leela asked for two boons. First boon is, may the soul of my husband separated from body do not depart from this habitation, that is the temple. And whenever I call you, you should come. So these two things she has asked. One, if her husband dies earlier, the soul should not leave the habitat, and second is that Devi Saraswati should give her a darshan. So Devi disappeared, she gave the boons to her, and in the process of time, what she was anticipating may be wrong, which will happen, and it's happened, and her husband died in front of her. She was totally miserable, and Devi, before she could call, she instantly came there. And then she started asking, please tell me where is my husband and please take me there. And instead of telling that, what happens is Devi started telling her the knowledge. And what is that knowledge? That knowledge Devi started telling, and The knowledge is like this: Chittakasha, Chidakasha, Akasham cha Tritikam. That means there are three Akash. One is Bhutakash, Chittakash, and Chidakash. And the space of consciousness is more void than the other. That means Chidakash is a solid conscious existence, whereas Akash and Chittakash has empty space. Whatever you put it in Akash and Chittakash, it is going to go, whatever it is not ending. Whereas Chittakash is so you cannot put anything in there. So, if you will attain fixity in the space of consciousness, having cast off all the thoughts, you will attain the true principle of state, which is the nature of whole without doubt. So, this is a very important shloka 15 number. Tasmin nirasta nishaya sankalpa sthiti meshi cheta sarvatmakam padam tattvam tam tadap noshis asanshayat. So, definitely you will, without doubt, you will attain that space of consciousness, that is Chidakash, and by the accomplishment of complete non-existence of the world, this stage is reached. Leela, who was told thus, all at once experienced the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then, having abandoned her own body, which is the cage of inner organs, and established in space, she saw her husband in the assembly of great number of kings. So what has happened? She was asking where my king has gone, my husband has gone, and she sees her husband is a very young 16 years old person. She was surprised. She goes inside the house and again sees the dead corpse kept there under the flowers. So then she asked, after seeing that, Devi starts, she asked the goddess, what is this? So then tell her this is all the mere delusion of creations. And there ends the first topic. So first topic was Devi Boon, where it is over. Second is early history. Now Devi start telling her the earlier birth. And when she was telling the earlier birth, she says ki somewhere in the sky of consciousness there is a hall called as worldly existence. In this Chidakash, when you think that there is a Samsara Mandapam, and this in the Samsara Mandapam you can say there was a Brahmin called as Vasishtha. This Vasishtha is different than the Yogaavasishtha Rishi. And there is a wife called as Arundhati, equal to her character, age and appearance. And there is a king retinue going on, and this Brahmin Vasishtha think kingship is indeed delightful and fondled by all good fortune. When shall I also be like that? Like this Vasishtha Brahmin says. And when he dies, what happens is he becomes the king. And that king is nothing other than the King Padma. And this lady Leela is nothing other than this Arundhati. So this whole Purva Vruttanta has been told, early history has been told by Saraswati Amma to this Devi. And accordingly, she got convinced. Then what? In the third topic, that is Brahma Vyas, Leela asked, to tell me which or else of what kind is a practice that helps me to realize this Brahman, how to realize this state of called consciousness which you said, the Chidakash, a solid consciousness existence, that is truth, that is unfragmented consciousness. How I can attain that? How does it undergo advancement, and what happens when it grows? Then Saraswati Amma says, Tat Chintanam Tat Kathanam Anyunnam Tat Prabodhanam. So what has to be done is thinking of that, talking of that, and instructing one another of that, having this as one of the highest goal. Keep this goal in the life. Wise man consider that as a practice of realizing that. So if you really think about the conscious space, that is unfragmented consciousness, you keep on thinking, remain in this world, that is Bhutakash, as a simple and disciplined person, but always keep your bhav as Advait bhav. Those who strive by reasoning and by scripture in the accomplishment of complete non-existence of the known object and the knower, they are the firm practitioners of the Brahman, that is ultimate reality. So the person who thinks nothing other than the divinity when he is acting in the world, so he is the person who can really understand that and experience that. The scene was not born even at the beginning of creation. So now Devi is telling even it is not born, actually it is the Chidakash, that is 100% solid consciousness existence. It is like if you take an example of gold and golden ornaments, all ornaments are made up of gold only. So when people are talking about the ornaments, actually it is nothing other than gold. When you're talking about the sea waves, but actually it is nothing other than the ocean. So when we know this, when you are seeing towards the wave, you still know that it is the ocean only. When you see still towards the ornament, still you know that it is only gold. Similarly, when you see in the world as the different entities, sentient and non-sentient entities, but actually it is nothing other than the divinity. That is one consciousness that has been tried to be told by Devi to him, to her. That satisfaction which is strongly produced by thinning of the vasana, that is love and hate, by the knowledge of the non-existence of sin, is called as a practice of realization of Brahman. So slowly, how it is to be done? Like same question was asked by Arjun to Sri Krishna Bhagavan also in Gita. There he says, what he has said is, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagrana samaprishate. That means two things has to be done. That relative existence has to be thin, and by knowing very well that it is only the divinity which is exists. So if you want to summarize that, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, you are divine. So the divinity is prime most, and all these projections are as if they are on the divinity. There is nothing other than that. So this liberation is attended by practice. So abhyas is very important. Tad abhyasena. The practice itself is a supreme fulfillment. So since liberation is attended by such practice, the practice itself is a supreme fulfillment. So you have to contemplate every day. Moment you start contemplating every day, what will happen is naturally your vasanas will get thin and you will start getting the experience. So what happens is, because Devi Saraswati was there and conversation was going on, so Leela also could attend the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and then both the ladies can move in the sky of consciousness. And when she has been asked to take her to the earlier life, then this by the grace of Saraswati Amma, this Leela, present Leela, which is in the form of consciousness, went to the earlier house. She is her son there, and they are mourning the demise of this Brahmin Vasishtha. So she puts her hand on the head of that son, so he immediately calms down. So then Leela asks, is how come he could see me and other people could not see? So now Saraswati Amma is told, because now you understood and contemplation has been done by you. That's why you have been seen over here. So then Leela says, yes, I could now understand my hundreds of births which has remembered by me today. Indeed, I have wandered much in various kinds of worms, the places of birth earlier. So this was the third topic. Then Antarvrittanta, that is a fourth topic, following story. Then what happens is, this goddess Saraswati and Leela then goes to the inner apartment of the palace. This is all where it is happening. Everything is happening in the mind. The mind of the Leela, everything is happening, and by the grace of Saraswati Amma. So what happens is, then they goes to the king name as Virod. This is all happening in the sky of Chidakash, and in the sky of Chidakash, in the Sansar Mandapam, there is a king called as Virodha. They went to his bedside. He could see by the grace of Saraswati Amma, the ladies Leela as well as Saraswati Amma standing near his bed. So then King Virodha asked, by grace of Saraswati Amma, he also started remembering the earlier life. So then he asked him, Devi, please tell me how this is happening and all that, and how will I'll get my earlier body. So then she explains, now there will be war, and then when you fight a war, this body you will have to drop, and again you will be again entering the Padma's body. So same thing has happened, and then this Leela saw another Leela with a body resembling her own form. That is, this wife of Viduratha king was there. So this wife of King Virodha reaches the place of King Padma and stands near the corpse. And Leela as well as Saraswati Amma comes there, and subsequently that is a fifth topic, that is return of them. And what happens is, seeing her stupefied husband Leela with a desire of following him, going towards the abode of Brahma and others, reach the interior of the sky of the consciousness. There in the city of Padma, that is Leela and Virodha's wife straightened by the power of goddess, stood near the corpse hidden by flowers within the hall. Then the life principle of king, Leela and the goddess, these three having gone from world to world, saw Leela, that is the wife of Viruda's wife, who was arrived earlier standing by the side of corpse in the hall of King Padma. Now Leela asks, uh, how that earlier body of mine is not seen? Then Devi tells us, when you went to the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, these people felt that you were being lifeless. They felt you were dead. So then they created the funeral pyre and burned your body. So now what has happened is, at first let this Leela see us both. That's what has been asked by Leela. So everybody is seen there now. Now by the grace of Saraswati Amma, she now gives this life principle into the Padma, this thing through the nostrils, and then Padma woke up and then he says, who are you? Who is this? And where from she has come? Then Leela told whole complete story and tell the second woman which is resembling me is now your wife. And accordingly, then Saraswati Amma gives him a boon, and she is a Saraswati Amma, auspicious mother of the three worlds. Having heard that, he saluted Saraswati Amma, and Saraswati Amma gives a boon to the Leela, who is a wife of King Virodaka, now will be the wife of Padma, and she says, let all calamities depart and let there be endless happiness for you. So this is a message which Saraswati Amma has given for all of us. So if you really contemplate and know these stories, basically these stories are for the purpose of what? Mind your mind. Under all the situations, mind has to be very tranquil, contented, blissful, cheerful, happy and over and above, cool and relaxed. That's what has been said here. Leela, the second Leela and the king, great intelligence and liberated while living, attended to the state of liberation without the body in due course by the grace of goddess. So what has been message given? Same message which has been given in Bhagavad Gita, same message is given here. What has to be done is Vairagya and Abhyas. Vairagya means not getting attached to this world more than the required. Whatever the activities has to be done, you have to do that. That is as simple as that. So wherever you are, whatever you are, whenever you are, be 100%. And world has to be interacted with the bhav as a mithya bhav. So there it is a long dream. So you cannot change the dream, you cannot correct the dream, you cannot advise. So basically stop advising, stop suggesting, and remain as in the mirror image. Image is seen, but the mirror image never advises anybody or does any suggestions for that. So remain in the world happily, cheerfully, but not getting involved more than the required. So this faultless story of the Leela has been narrated to you. Some people may have an argument, अरे ये तो this तो पूरी ये आख्यायिका है, ये पौराणिक स्टोरी है, इसमें तो कुछ दम नहीं है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Actually, the purpose is that Rama, now Vasishtha Rishi is saying to Rama, for the removal of the blemish of the sin. ये जो blemish है sin का, उसको remove करने के लिए, because you have to make a firm conviction that nothing other than the God exists. Actually, it is only the divine play. Unless earlier it was the unmanifested form, now it remains manifested for some period of time and subsequently it becomes unmanifest. So as if it is manifested, but actually it is his Leela going on. So what has to be known? Known to us, either it is Hari Krupa, everything goes as per our mind, then it is Hari Krupa. If something goes against our mind, then it is Hari Ichha. So whether it is Hari Krupa or Hari Ichha, one has to remain cheerful, happy and blissful always. So abandon the idea of firmness or permanency of this world. So the message is given is the idea of permanence or the permanency or firmness of this world has to be dropped by knowing this story of Leela. Iti Shri Vasishtha Sangrahe Leela Upakhyanhe Nam Chaturtha Sarga. So this ends the fourth chapter titled The Story of Leela in the abridgment of a Yogaavasishtha. So this is what has been expected. Tomorrow we'll be starting the story of Suchi. So the purpose of whole the contemplation is to see that you are divine, this world is divine, and this is a blissful play of that one Almighty, that transcendent immanent one without second divinity. So with these prayers, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu. Submitting the divine fruits to the holy feet of Sri Ramachandra.